Thursday, and the Beards are back. Now, Monty, before we get started, I wanted to say this is a little interesting to be doing this early. It kind of feels like that 5 p.m. drive home. I almost wish we had a soundboard and stuff to go like some silly sound effects. But anyway, it's Thursday, and the wait is over. We have actual, real football on in just a few hours. I am your main man, Sergeant Mayhem. With me, as always, is Monty, and we've got a special guest, co-host of the 13 Rings podcast. That'll give you everything you want to know about the NFC East. Big Blue Mal. Mal, thanks for joining us.
No, thank you guys for having me. I'm excited to be here.
We are super excited to have you on and super excited to talk about actual football.
It's finally
Now,
here.
I know.
Yeah, it's finally here, and we're ready to rock and roll. Now, Monty, I've been a little busy today. I've been running around doing lots of stuff. Do we have an update on Travis Kelce tonight? Am I going to be forced to start Noah Fant in our fantasy league? What's going on with tonight?
I think from last I've saw, he's gonna go out there and try warming up, and they're gonna see if he can play. It's one of those situations. So it's got to be you got to be ready to change the lineup right when that drops right before the game. So everyone, keep your phones on.
Kind of pressure is week one.
Mm-hmm.
My starting running back is suspended for 3 games. My starting tight end may not play tonight or the next couple of weeks.
At least
I had a shitty draft.
At least if he doesn't play, what is Noah Fant going to get you 4 points? So it's you might as well just give it a shot and hope for the best.
Yeah.
If that. That's what I'm doing. I'm rolling out Noah Fant and Chuba Hubbard this week.
Oh,
but nobody cares about my fantasy football team.
Nobody cares.
What we really care about is the New York Giants play Sunday night against the hated Dallas Cowboys. And a lot of stuff has been going on this week. A lot of people have been talking about, the Giants haven't beaten Dak since 2016, this, that, and the other thing. They don't play well in primetime games. Mal, I'm going to ask this question to you first. Is this the year we break that curse? Is this the year the Giants finally get one over on Dak and do it in prime time?
I do. I think this is our best shot this year. At least in recent years.
Yeah.
Monty, what about you, brother?
And I'm with Giants fans right now, and it makes me nervous because we all have this sense of optimism for this game, and I think we all kind of feel like this is the time we can get it. We're at home. It's week 1. There's all this optimism going the season. It seems like we have the coaching advantage. The back of my head, I'm just nervous because I know there's too much optimism going on right now. But I'm ready to be hurt if I'm wrong.
Yeah, I'm ready to be hurt too. I'm definitely ready.
I'm always ready to be hurt by this team, but I guess I'm the voice of optimism here. Is you see half their offensive line is on the injury report as either limited or did not participate. This might be it, man. This is the week that we go out and punch Dallas in the face finally here at home, or there at home in East Rutherford. So I have to be optimistic, man. I feel like we've done enough in the offseason to kind of close that gap, at least with Dallas, and see what things look like moving forward. So Mal, since this is your first time on the show, why don't you tell us a little bit about your podcast?
Yeah, so I'm a co-host on the 13 Rings podcast. So it's me and I talk for the Giants, and then we have a Commanders fan, an Eagles fan, and a Cowboys fan. So it's kind of like a panel every week. And we kind of go through all of the matchups, all of our teams, different news, kind of just giving everything out about the NFC East, which I think is kind of cool. I don't know many podcasts like that, so.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, I haven't heard anything along those lines when I was looking into it, and it seems like a cool concept. How does your Cowboys fan co-host feel about the game? How do they feel their chances are versus our chances?
He thinks it's a win.
Yeah, he has it in pen on the schedule right now already.
Oh, yeah, and we also did our picks for the season, like, last night for each team, and he had Dallas going 14-0 the first
Oh,
14 weeks, so,
Oh wow.
yeah,
Oh,
he's
he's
got
one of those guys. Oh, so he's just a typical Cowboys fan.
yeah.
yes, yes. Mhm.
I don't know. It's
Got a
something
lot
in
of
the
faith.
water.
Types on the podcast.
Yeah.
Yeah. So how many times do you guys flash up the Bart Simpson this is our say the thing, this is our year meme for him?
Oh, yeah, every episode we always mention, like, some comment regarding it being their year because he makes some take and we're like, "Alright, I guess it's the Cowboys' year again." It's just like clockwork and it's just very funny, but, no, it's great.
It's been their year for the past 30 years.
Wh-
Yeah.
But we're not going to talk
Which
about that.
team gets picked on the most on the podcast? Which out of the four NFC East teams?
I'd have to say it is the Cowboys because, the Eagles fans and the Cowboys fans, they've been fighting a lot, so
Mhm.
they always got something to debate about,
Yeah,
and that's where it really stems from, but it's good banter. We're respectful with it, and the guys are
yeah.
really great, and they're all very knowledgeable, so it's a lot of fun every week.
That's awesome. So,
That
are you
sounds like a lot
guys
of fun.
like streaming platforms, like podcast platforms,
Yeah.
YouTube? Where you guys? Where can they find you?
So we only started a few weeks ago, but we're only on Spotify right now. We're trying to branch out to more. But right now we're on Spotify. We're on I was gonna say Twitter, but X at 13_rings podcast. Our link is in the bio. We're the same thing on Instagram.
Nice,
Hmm.
awesome.
Nice.
So yeah, everybody should go check them out. So, all right. So, we'll start with you, Mal. What do you? I want to ask a question. What do you guys think are the keys to the game for the Giants to win this? What's a key to this game that you're looking for?
I think the key to the game is keeping Micah Parsons quiet.
Yeah.
I think that's a big key to the game. I think we are all a little worried about our offensive line. We've been for the past few years, and I think it's a big year for us to kind of make a statement this first game. And I think it's really important that the line looks a lot better than it did.
Yeah. No, I mean, I totally agree. I mean, that was where we got killed last year. And I
Yeah.
mean, we even had a shot in that game despite how much we were getting killed. And if yeah, with our offensive line, it's gonna set the tone for the season about how we're gonna feel as fans about this offensive line for the rest of the year, about how the Cowboys, pressure us. What about you, Sarge? What do you think's the key?
So I'm gonna kind of like I'm gonna half agree. So I think it's not just the offensive line, but I also think it's the defensive line.
Yep.
Because they say games are won and lost in the trenches, and it's on the offensive side. Are we going to give Danny enough time to get the ball out to one of these guys that we added in the offseason, Darren Waller, Paris Campbell, Jalen Hyatt, Isaiah Hodgins, and Slayton? Are we going to give Danny a chance to get those big plays out? And then on the defense, are we like our guys? The guys on the end need to set that edge to kind of help contain Tony Pollard. We got to get after Dak. We got to get in his face and get him off schedule and make him uncomfortable. And all those sport cliches that everybody always likes to talk about, but they're cliches for a reason. We need to get in his face, keep him off schedule, make his life miserable the first game of the season. So yeah, games are won and lost in the trenches, and that's kind of where the Giants need to step up because that's where we had the most problems last year. Is not only on the offensive side, but on the defensive side too. They ran on us all the time. What was it like? We gave up like 150 something rushing yards on Thanksgiving or something crazy like that.
Yeah.
And Joe Shane looked at that and said, "That's not going to happen again. Not this year." So he added guys like Ashawn Robinson and Nacho. We bulked up front. We added Bobby Okereke and Isaiah Simmons, and we made those kind of things. Like we're begging you to run on us now. Try to run the ball on us, and we are going to push it back in your face. So that's where we need to do is we need to make a statement on offense and defense in that front. So that's where I'm at right now.
Yeah, and I agree with both of you
Yeah.
guys and your points. Mike McCarthy has said that, one of the things he wants to do is establish the run. So, I mean, we're set up well to do that versus them. And I mean, so build off kind of what both of you guys said with, the defensive line to start, when you have the injuries on that offensive line, you have a guy like Dexter Lawrence who commands double teams. That's where you're going to get the chance for uh Leonard Williams, Azeez Ojulari, Kayvon Thibodeau really try to take advantage of one-on-one matchups they're going to have with guys who are either backups or beat up a little bit. And then to the point to the offensive line, Mal, one thing I want to say, add on to that is if we can keep, get some time for Daniel Jones, we really need to start getting some explosive plays on the Cowboys and make them respect all this new speed that we got on offense. And I think ultimately where Daniel Jones is best is attacking that middle of the field, and I think that is where he will attack. But if they have to respect the speed in this offense and we can get a couple plays over the top, he'll have a lot easier time be able to attack that really good defense. And I think with their linebackers and safeties, that's attacking the middle of the field is probably our best shot, because those two corners on the outside are going to hold up well versus us.
Yeah. No, I completely agree with both of you. I couldn't have said it better myself.
So here's a thought, Monty, and I'll kick this one to you first. Who do you think will score the first touchdown for the Giants? Like, how do you think that's gonna run out? Do you think it's So that's the question. Who do you think is going to score first, and how?
If I was a betting man, I would go ahead and take like a Saquon or something. But I can't get out of my head the fact of us taking a shot early and Jalen Hyatt streaking down the field and scoring a 50-yard touchdown on them with a free release that we set up similar to what we tried setting up on Sauce, something like that, and just right off the bat getting an early touchdown, setting momentum, and having that Cowboys wide receiver coach in the sidelines and have to watch that happen. That's what I keep envisioning in my head, and maybe it's just a hope. Maybe I'm seeing the future a little bit. We'll see on Sunday.
Mal, what about you? Who scores the first touchdown for the Giants on Sunday?
I'm really thinking that it's going to be Darius Slayton. I do think it's going to be Darius Slayton. I think it's going to be a long play. I think it's going to be like a great catch, kind of like you had last year. I think that's going to be how we kind of start out.
Oh, yeah. Awesome.
What about you,
I'm actually on the other side. I think the first touchdown from the Giants is going to come on defense. I think because one thing we did not do, one thing we obviously did not do enough of last year is really create turnovers. Not a whole lot of interceptions. I would like to see the first touchdown of the game be a defensive touchdown. I want to see either, and this I'm going to go either or here. I want to see Jason Pinnock pick six or a Kayvon strip sack fumble recovery for a touchdown, like in Washington. So either or, I would like to see a defensive touchdown first. That way, it kind of creates that cushion so the offense can then go out and have a little bit of a breather. First TD will be Bellinger.
All right.
If they ran what they ran that first drive against Carolina, you might be right. Get Waller moving, get Waller going, and then get him double teamed. Although I think they watched that game, so they'll probably be ready for something like that.
Yeah. I like it. Nobody kind of picked a generic choice there. There wasn't the Saquon, Daniel Jones, but all right, or Darren Waller, Trey Hawkins, lockdown Larry with the pick six.
Like that.
Did you guys see that? I think
that would be cool.
That everyone's calling him lockdown Larry on the team. Did you guys see that?
I have not seen that.
Apparently, his name is actually Larry. That's Trey Hawkins' first name. He's Larry Hawkins the third, so they call him Trey because of the third. But
that makes
funny.
Sense.
That's cool.
Lockdown Larry.
Yeah, lockdown Larry.
Oh, gosh.
What do you
Oh,
guys think
geez.
about starting the two rookie corners?
So,
That just
th-
came to mind.
yeah, no, it's a good question. So,
Yeah, it's a good question.
my thought with it personally is like I couldn't tell you a cornerback like tandem that I prefer out of what we have, out of how they're gonna sounds like they're gonna roll into it with Banks and Hawkins the inside, especially versus the Cowboys with Adoree in the slot, because that's where Lamb plays a lot of his
Yeah.
games.
Hmm.
So I think it's the right decision, but I can't say that I'm not nervous about the
Yeah.
idea of trusting two rookie corners on the outside. Just unfortunately, it doesn't sound like we have a better option at this point. So hopefully they exceed expectations with this. What about you, Sarge?
So I don't think there's a Giants fan out there who's not nervous about
Yeah.
starting two
Yeah.
rookie corners, regardless of who we're playing. You know, I mean, with corner being one of the hardest positions to transition to from college to the pros, you have to like having one rookie corner out there is worrisome enough. But, we're running two. Um, and not everybody is Sauce Gardner. Not everybody comes out of a college and is like setting the world on fire immediately, at that position. But, you know, that's the thing. And somebody brought it like one T brought it up. Like you want to test the rookie deep, that helps the pass rush. You know, it
Yep.
gives our guys up front time to get to the quarterback since they're trying to get these long plays to develop. But we saw our guys. They played those guys a lot in preseason, and granted, it's preseason, and they're not running, you know, super complicated offenses or defenses. But our guys kept up pretty well. You know, and you hear a lot of the beat reporters who talk about seeing these guys and the way they progressed in camp. Um, Am I worried? Yes. Am I concerned? A little. Am I excited to see how these two guys do? Definitely.
Yep.
Definitely. You know, um, I mean, nobody's not scared. That's the thing. And it's just, we're going to see how it goes. We're going to, we've got one of the best defensive backs coach in the league, Jerome
Yep.
Henderson, working with these guys. So I think our coaching staff will have these guys prepared. And I don't think they're going to let them beat themselves up if they get beat on a play. These guys have to have a short memory, got to turn around and got to do it right again. But, I think we have the coaching staff to keep these guys coached up and put them in a position to succeed.
Yeah, I agree.
Absolutely.
What about you, Mal?
Yeah, no, I completely agree. I'm more excited than anything. I think I'm excited for our future because we've been
Yeah.
struggling at this position for a while. I think, like you said, it's really the best shot for what we got right now.
Hmm.
I don't really think I would be more comfortable with anybody else, and to say that I'm more comfortable with two rookies is saying something.
Yeah,
Um, but
it's a
I
testament to
do.
them.
Yeah, but I am excited to see because I don't really think there's any greater test than Sunday night football against the Giants. Against the Cowboys at home. There's no greater test for that. So I'm excited to see what they do.
Yeah, and ultimately, if we can, as one T brought up, if we can get that pass rush there, that's going to help those guys. And it's going to be a team effort to go ahead and keep it
Yeah.
down. And I'm excited that we don't have to watch Darnay Holmes in the slot for CeeDee Lamb. That was miserable. So I'm just excited that we have a real corner on CeeDee Lamb.
I'm just excited
Yes.
that we're not going to have 18 holding penalties.
Yeah,
We can hope.
yeah, it's true. It's true. We have some pretty grabby corners out there.
Yeah.
I mean, anything's better than Darnay Holmes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
He didn't look too good in camp, but
yeah. All right. So I want to bring this up. Monty shared this with me today. So it's very, very infrequent that we get a follow up to a bit that we've done in the past. So for those of you who have watched us from the beginning, and if you have, thank you very much. But a couple months back, I put together a PowerPoint presentation of what exactly is it that Daniel Jones is missing as far as what does he need to be the guy in New York and get over the hump. And we all said a beard. So we put beards, I photoshopped beards on Daniel Jones. So shout out, first of all, shout out to New York Revival, to those guys. Because this past week, and if you didn't watch the show, what's wrong with you? The guys had Kay Adams on.
That was so awesome.
Kay Adams, I was so happy for those guys.
Yeah, that's so great.
Show.
So, and then while on the show, 3 beers in, Kay Adams drops some big news that she's going to have DJ on Up and Adams every Tuesday during the season, with this week being the first week. So during the course of Kay's show, she asks Daniel a question, which we're going to play for you right now.
Daniel, why are so many people asking me about your facial hair? Like, people are obsessed with whether you change it. I don't know this about you. People, do you not keep your beard long enough or something? What's going on?
I don't know. I'm getting lazy. I gotta clean it up. It'll be cleaned up by Sunday, but Thursday we're in the week of practice. I got lazy with it. I'll clean it up for all those people asking about it.
Everyone's saying he doesn't usually wear a mustache. That's why. No more shaving. Danny De Niro needs a mustache. People are losing their minds.
Were you the one asking, Sarge?
I'm not going to say it wasn't me, but I cannot confirm or deny that I asked that question. However, Daniel, we implore you here at Big Blue Beards, let it grow.
Keep the beard, Daniel.
Keep the beard,
mustache,
man.
Yeah, he does need to keep it. It does look good.
He's got
beard mouth.
He's got the stash and he's got the little soul patch. He looks like he's a swashbuckler, like one of the 3 Musketeers. Let the whole thing grow, Danny.
Danny De
People
Niro.
will stop calling you Danny. They'll call you Dan or Daniel.
He seemed uncomfortable answering that question. Like, he's just like so awkward.
He was uncomfortable that entire interview.
He probably was.
Oh my god, it's gonna be funny to see if he can like open up by the end of the year with Kay. If Kay can break through, because he was just like, shucks, I don't know the whole time.
Yeah, I mean, did you see the was it a Foot Locker video that the Giants put out with? They had Danny trying to sell Giants merch at a Foot Locker.
Oh yeah, it was at Boss in the
it was at Boss, right? And he's like, you a Giants fan? You like? And then it took like a Jets fan to go, aren't you Daniel Jones or something like that? It was hysterical, and that shows you how funny he can actually be, and it's the Eli Manning vibe that you're not going to get. You're going to get buttoned up Danny until he retires, and then you're going to realize how funny he is when he does Saturday Night Live.
TV, man. Right. I don't know. Eli was so sneaky funny. I still haven't figured out what Daniel Jones is. I don't know if this is just him or not. I heard he can rip it up though. I heard that man can drink beers.
Oh yeah. I think you've seen.
I could see it.
They were playing Flip Cup or whatever.
He was doing it after the Washington game, after the Chase Young Bowl. Him and Eli were playing Flip Cup.
Yep.
I love it.
So Danny, please keep the beard. Just keep it.
And I like Danny De Niro.
Think about it like
Danny De Niro is
playoff beard. Danny De Niro.
Yeah, he's got to at least grow up for the playoffs. He's got to do the playoff beard. If you make the playoffs, go the beard. I think it's a deal.
And make a run.
Yeah, exactly.
That's how you do it.
You'll have a beard like Sarge by the Super Bowl.
Yeah, I just cut like a half inch off. I got it cleaned up. It looks nice.
Looking good. Sarge.
Anyway, so let's see, where are we at? This is why I should do show notes. So another thing we want to talk about, or let's take a moment. Let's talk about the other big worry everybody seems to have is the offensive line, right? So last year, as we all know, Evan Neal got cooked versus Dallas. I mean, he gave up 5 sacks that game. I think it was a Thanksgiving game.
3.
That we just
I think it was 3.
Was it 3?
It was a lot.
It was a lot. He was getting killed regardless. If it was 3, it was 3 with 6 more pressures.
It was really hard to watch. So now we're hoping that Evan got his shit together in the offseason. And we're also, it doesn't look like, everybody was worried about the guard rotation, how, they kept like moving the inside pieces around. And, Bobby Johnson came out in an interview and said, he's like, we're doing it now just so that these guys get these reps in there, just in case something happens, because we all know injuries happen, especially in the offensive line. And our depth is worrisome at best. And we've got a rookie center. Well, John Michael Schmitz looks great in the preseason, like he played a ton in the preseason, but the preseason is not the season. So how worried, and Mal, I'll kick it to you first, how worried are we about this offensive line?
I'm not as worried as last year, but I'm still worried, if that makes sense. I think there's a lot of uncertainties on, like, of course, we obviously know Andrew Thomas, elite. Not something we really have to really worry about. I think Bredesen's a good guard. I think he's going to do well this year, so I'm not too worried about him. I'm really worried about Evan Neal taking the next step. And I mean, I'm semi-worried about John Michael Schmitz, but I think he's going to step up. I think him training with Dex over the summer really probably prepared him for a lot. And I have confidence in him. I am really worried, though, about Evan Neal, and I'm hoping he takes that step forward.
Monty, what about you? How are you feeling?
Yeah, I agree. I honestly think I feel decent, but my expectations aren't super high either at the same time, if you know what I mean. Like you said, Andrew Thomas is elite, and I think having that elite left tackle where Daniel Jones doesn't really have to worry about his blind side is going to helps him a lot with kind of like being able to navigate the pocket. Which I think is another thing that's important to this is last year by the end of the year, he got so much more comfortable and so much better, got so much better at feeling the pressure and navigating the pocket, really better than I ever thought he'd get to him. This preseason, it looked like he took even another step forward. So I think that will help with it a lot. Like the quarterback can do a lot to help with the bad offensive line. You've seen it with other guys before. I don't know what level Evan Neal will get to. I hope that he makes like an Andrew Thomas in a second year leap, but it was, it's a lot to ask, but I think at the very least he can meet kind of what our expectations were of him as a rookie. Like we were kind of like, he's a rookie. I just need him to be fine, and he was bad, but I think he'll be fine. Then John Michael Schmitz, I feel good. I think he was like a 5-year starter in college or something like that. So, a guy with that amount of experience, I feel pretty good. He'll be able to step in, and what we're seeing is I think he can be our best interior offensive line. It's just really those two guard spots where I think we have, like, I think Glowinski is a good run blocker, but he can't pass block at all. I think that's kind of what it is. And Bredesen's just okay at both, and it doesn't look like Zuda's starting, so hopefully he can, get better. But I don't know. I feel all right. I don't think it's gonna kill us unless we get an injury. Then it might. But
I'm less worried about the interior of the line, because actually we have the most offensive line depth we have is in the interior.
That's true.
We have Bredesen, we have Izudu, we have Glowinski, and then we have McKeithen and Shane Lemieux. Who's listed as the backup center, but whatever. And then but behind Thomas and Neal, you've got Matt Kirk,
and that's it, right?
And that, I think that they have somebody from the practice squad, and
I think we have a guy in the practice squad we signed because we got rid of.
I'm not 100% sure how that is going to roll out, but as far as Evan Neal's growth, I mean, we saw a little bit of it. He played really well when he played in the preseason, except for like one bad play where him and Glowinski had a problem with handing off a twister or whatever. But he's an easy guy to root for. He's one of those guys who are like real easy to root for. You watch him. If you watch the Giants profile video on him, he comes from like a small town in Florida, and he's he's a nice guy. He's an articulate dude. He gives back to his community. He's a real easy guy to root for. He just needs to step up and and be that guy that we need him to be on the right side. That's
absolutely
the two ways around it.
Yeah, I don't know if he'll ever get to the level that we hoped he'd get to. It's too early to tell, but I really don't see a bust in Evan Neal's future. He works too hard. He's got too good of a head on his shoulders. He's too big. He's too athletic. He'll figure out something to be at least an average, offensive tackle in this league.
I think he just had a hard transition from college to the NFL last year.
Yeah, he went from a different side too.
Yeah, exactly, and that's not easy.
Mm-hmm. And he was hurt.
Yeah,
and he was hurt.
He had a lot not going for him.
Yeah, you gotta hope that he's got his body right, he's got his mind right, and then can move forward to the next season. And since we're talking about guys who are hurt and need to show up and produce, Azeez Ojulari is another one. I'm really hoping that we get a big year out of Azeez.
Yep.
We need a big year out of Azeez.
We need a big year out of him, man. It's just it's I don't know. I'm just kind of a little All right, all right. Timeout. I know we're live, and I'm gonna call a timeout, and that's what we do. It's football. So something's been rolling around in my head all day. As I was listening, and I try not to listen to other Giants podcasts on a day that we're going to record, because I don't want to regurgitate things that other people have said and take credit for it, because it makes me sound really smart. And I also don't want to regurgitate weird takes. But this weird take really got my brain rolling. So I need to get it out, and I need to talk to you guys about it, and I want your opinion. Okay.
Sure.
This morning I listened to Carl Banks and Bob Papa, Believe in Giants. Shout out to those guys. Carl started talking about, and he made a lot of different comparisons between the 2023 New York Giants and the St. Louis Rams' greatest show on turf.
Okay.
He's talking about, he was comparing, not in achievements, and this is how he prefaced it. This is not about, because this team that we're talking about, that he was talking about, hasn't done anything yet. They've taken the field for all of one series in the preseason, and it didn't even count. They haven't done anything yet. But if you start kind of equating, apples to apples kind of thing, it's really, the way he starts comparing the speed of Torrey Holt and I'm not going to remember all of the names, but comparing Isaac Bruce, those guys compared to Harris Campbell, Darren Waller, Jalen Hyatt, Marshall Faulk, Saquon Barkley. There's a lot of similarities in the speed of the players and their overall skill and ability in their positions that they play, and the types of positions that the coaching staffs, the Rams and the Giants, put their players in to succeed. And I'll tell you what, Carl Banks he didn't say it. He didn't come right out and say it. But he did say somewhere in effect, if you look at the Chiefs last year, on average, they were just around, as far as score, points per game in the mid-20s. They didn't have to score a ton of points to win games. Their defense was really good and kept other teams from scoring. But, we're talking the St. Louis Rams, that greatest show on turf team, averaging 30 some odd points a game. And he says that this Giants team, if the offensive line holds up and the defense does their job, could potentially average 30 some odd points a game. And I'm not doing a great job explaining this because it was several hours ago and there's a lot of stuff rolling around in my head. But what do you guys think about this comparison? We added all of this speed in the offseason, not just to the offense, but to the defense as well. This team is fast on the field now. What do you guys think? Like, did we do enough to push us past that point where we were only scoring, 15 to 17 to 20, 22 points a game last year? But this year, we're going through the roof. What do you guys think?
Monty, I'll let you go first.
All right. So, I mean, I think there's a lot of good comparisons of teams that have had speed in recent history. I hesitate on the greatest show on turf just because, I mean, you're talking about like two Hall of Fame wide receivers there with Torrey Holt and Isaac Bruce. Those guys' skill sets are insane, and I don't know what Hyatt will be. He's a rookie, but I don't know what he'll be. But the other guys have a pretty proven track record. But we have speed. We have a ton of speed. I think that there are like the Kansas City Chiefs, for example, a couple years ago. I mean, obviously we don't have a Mahomes, and I don't necessarily know if we have a Tyreek Hill, but we have Mike Kafka, and we have a team where they went and they had Tyreek Hill. Then they added McCole Hardman. Then they brought in Valdez-Scantling this time. They had Jerick McKinnon. They added a lot of speed. They had, Travis Kelce is a very quick tight end. I think, there are teams like that who I think we have modeled after in a modern day NFL. And I do think the greatest show on turf, especially like Marshall Faulk, who was kind of like led the charge for receiving running backs, they were kind of set the blueprint for how a modern day offense is built. I think they all were incredibly talented. So I hesitate on some of that, but I do think there is like a prototype there that they kind of set. So I can see it from that sense. What about you, Mal?
Yeah, no, I completely agree with you, Monty. That was a great point. I love that we added so much speed, but also it does go into exactly if the offensive line and the defensive line do what they have to do. I think there's a lot that goes into it. I'm not, in terms of comparisons on paper, I can see what they're kind of going with there. But I don't really make comparisons until I see the team play, because anything can go wrong, and hopefully not wrong, but things can also go really right. The comparison could be true. But I'm not a big fan of doing comparisons before I see what the actual product is when they're all together.
Yeah, and he did a lot of like prefacing, like, you haven't seen him do anything yet.
Yeah.
But there was a lot of this, and it's just, it's hard. It's hard not to be excited about this.
100%.
Yeah, definitely.
Everybody wants, and now you're going to have, we always have those the naysayers out there in Giants Twitter, and I'm refusing to call it X, but I don't understand. I don't understand those people. Like, I'm not going to tell you how to fan, but if you're not excited for this team, you might want to just check your fandom at the door and maybe go find somebody else to be excited about or not excited about. So, I mean, Monty, as far back as I can remember, Giants Twitter has always been cautiously optimistic or just ultimately very negative. But it seems like this off season, it's just, we're ready to roll out now, and we want to see what this team can do. What is your opinion right now on let's call it the temperature of the room as far as Giants Twitter goes?
I kind of alluded to this earlier when we we're talking about the game. It's the most optimistic I think I've seen in years. Yes, there are people who they're afraid to be hurt. They're broken inside, or whatever you want to call it. But example, they're making a joke on it today. We'll call it another podcast. I haven't listened to it yet, but NYG Weekly, they posted their record predictions, and Ethan GSN's a guy that people call like a pessimist and things like that.
I've seen him around.
Yeah. He I love Ethan, but yeah, he gets a lot of rap for that stuff. He predicted we were going 11-5. or 11-6.
Wow.
11-6. Or yeah, I keep forgetting the amount of freaking games we have now, but yeah, that's the first 11 game I predicted. So I mean, even from all ends, I think there's a lot of people who believe in Brian Daboll and believe what we're building here. They believe in Joe Schoen. I think it's easy to believe in the direction that this team's going. I think you obviously got to see it happen, but I think you can see the plan, which I think that goes far away with a lot of fans. And it starts from the top, and it seems like that is where we're in pretty good shape. What about you, Matt?
Yeah, I was gonna say the temperature of the room is definitely way more optimistic than when it was a few months ago when we were out contracts for Daniel Jones and Saquon Barkley.
Mm-hmm.
But now that time has gone on and like everyone's seeing how good of a leader Daniel is, and how much the team loves him, and they're kind of just excited for the full product. And kind of like what you said, Monty, like these people, they all believe in Daboll and Schoen. I mean, I do. That taking that team to the playoffs last year when we didn't even think we had a shot in week 1, that's pretty good hope to have. And I think we can only build from there. So I definitely see a lot more optimism now, but of course you still have the ones who want to be right, prove their point. I think that most of them nowadays just kind of do it so that they can, get likes or whatever. I don't know. But that's really what I think about it.
Anything else to add on it, Sarge?
No, I mean, I think it's real interesting to watch how upbeat and ready for the season everybody is, and and you can even see it. And I know the team doesn't really pay attention to this kind of stuff as far as social media and whatnot goes, but like I think part of the reason why everybody's so excited is because you just all of the videos that came out of training camp and practice, and Danny just looks. There's a certain level of confidence to him, and a little bit of swag, a teeny tiny bit out of him, and that's what you want in your quarterback. You kind of want like a, Kirk Cousins with his, iced out and Joe Burrow, but you want that a little bit of swag from your QB, and we've got, like, oh well, shucks guy, but you see a little bit of that, like from the videos from training camp and stuff like that. You see a little bit more swag from Daniel, and that's kind of what's got everybody so hyped. It's like he's got his money. Let's see what he does now. Let's see him earn it, and we're seeing that with everybody. So again, we're all on the train. We're all on that Daniel Jones train, and we're running headlong into the season. So, Monty.
Yep.
I just sprang this on you out of nowhere earlier today, so we're gonna do this. So this year we're gonna do a pick segment at the end of every show, and I figure we're at the 45-minute mark. Let's probably do it right about now. So we are gonna pick the winners of every game this week, and we're gonna keep track for bragging rights, and we'll get Smooth's picks later because he couldn't make it today. So, Monty, if you want to throw the schedule up on the screen.
Yep. So I'm not sure if you guys can see it. I know it comes a little bit smaller, but oops.
I think I changed that. Hold on.
Yeah, well, I think we were good.
Okay.
There you go. But yeah, so you know what? We'll go. You want me to just go ahead and start off so I can just kind of show you guys what I'm thinking, how we're gonna fire through this?
Yep. Do it, Monty.
Yeah.
All right, so go ahead. So we have the schedule out here in front of us. I'm just thinking rapid fire. We're going to go through who we think we're going to win each one. So I'm going to start out with the Kansas City Chiefs over the Detroit Lions tonight. It's a hard one to pick against right there.
Yeah.
I'm going to go the Carolina Panthers over the Atlanta Falcons. I'm going to go the Baltimore Ravens over the Houston Texans. I'm going chalk so far. Cincinnati Bengals over Cleveland Browns. Jacksonville Jaguars over the Indianapolis Colts. That might be a bloodbath. I will go Minnesota Vikings over Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I will take New Orleans Saints over Tennessee Titans. I will go San Francisco 49ers over Pittsburgh Steelers. Unfortunately, the Commanders over the Arizona Cardinals. I will go. This is gonna be a good matchup. Packers versus Bears. I am going to take the Chicago Bears over the Green Bay Packers. I'm going to take the Denver Broncos over the the Las Vegas Raiders. I will take the Los Angeles Chargers over the Miami Dolphins. That'll be a good game as well. I'm going to take you know what? Tom Brady night. I'm going to take New England Patriots over Philadelphia Eagles. I'm going to take the Seattle Seahawks over the Rams, the New York Football Giants over the Dallas Cowboys on Sunday Night Football, and I will take the Buffalo Bills over our little brothers, the New York Jets.
All right. So what's going to happen now is I'm going to run through picks. Mal's going to run through picks, and then I will post all of these picks to the Big Blue Beards Twitter page. And then because we're just doing this for bragging rights, it's fun. So I'm going to go, let's see, Chiefs, Falcons, Ravens, Bengals, Jags. I'm sorry, this is really small. Is that Vikings, Bucks?
Vikings, Bucks.
Saints. And you took the Niners, right?
Here, I'll read the matchup you gave me.
You took the 49ers, right?
Yeah.
All right. I'm gonna say the Steelers. Brock Purdy doesn't scare me. I don't care if Nick Bosa just got a new contract. All right. Let's see. Definitely Commanders over Cardinals. I'm taking the Packers over Bears because it's tradition. I don't care if Aaron Rodgers is not there anymore. The Packers own that. Let's see. Is it Raiders over Broncos? I'm going to say Dolphins over Chargers. I'm definitely taking the Eagles over the Patriots. That's a no-brainer.
Tom Brady day. They're going to get it.
I'm going to say, what is this? The Rams, Seahawks. Oh, Seahawks, definitely. Giants, definite. And Bills over the Jets. Aaron Rodgers wins 4 games this year, and none of them in the division. And I don't know who you are, bro.
I love it.
Go ahead, Mal.
All right. So I actually just got a notification on my phone that Travis Kelce is not playing tonight.
Oh no!
Oh,
yeah.
No!
Yeah. So I'm gonna take the Lions with no Chris Jones or Travis Kelce. I'm gonna take the Falcons, the Ravens, the Bengals, the Jaguars, the Vikings, the Saints, the 49ers, the Commanders, the Packers. I'm going Denver Broncos, Miami Dolphins, Eagles over Patriots, Seahawks over Rams, Giants over the Cowboys, and Bills over the Jets.
All right, there it is. We'll see which one of us gets those right.
Big fantasy blow.
So here I'm gonna stop sharing, but question
so you can update your fantasy team.
Yeah, no, exactly. No. But question for you guys. We're all going Giants over Cowboys. What's your score prediction? Giants versus Cowboys. Sarge, why don't you start us off?
So I've been touting this for about a week now, ever since we started talking about regular season. I say Giants 28, Dallas 17.
Okay. Mine's pretty close. I got Giants 28, Dallas 21.
That's funny. We're all at the same score. I have Giants 28, Dallas 24. So we're Dallas getting a little
Yeah.
bit closer and closer.
A little
in each
bit closer each
But-
pick.
But we're we're scoring 28. You might as well, make that score prediction right now.
Right,
Put
right,
that in.
because it comes
Yeah.
with a defensive score. One of those
Yeah,
touchdowns is
yeah,
definitely a defensive touchdown.
Mhm.
And
I'm gonna
unless
give-
the
so-
defensive score is a safety, and then it throws off all our scores.
You do a
That's true.
safety,
Yeah,
and I don't know. There's a funky math scoregami where you could make that work. Where
we
if
can
you
get
got
there.
A
Kick a
safety
couple
and
field goals or
a
something.
2-point conversion and a field goal, and
Yeah.
yeah. All right. Okay. Let's do real quick. Hot take for the game. Mal, what's a hot take for the game aside from score prediction?
Hot take for the game is Daniel Jones going to throw 4 touchdowns.
Woo.
All 4 of those touchdowns will be thrown by Daniel Jones.
So no rushing touchdown at all. No rushing touchdowns at all.
No. I think we're going to pass a lot. I do.
Oh, I definitely think we're going to pass a lot.
Mhm.
I do too. Monty, hot take from you.
I'm gonna have Isaiah Simmons breakout game. First game here, he's going to get a sack, an interception, and either a forced fumble or fumble recovery. He's gonna get one of each, and
I like
it's
it.
gonna be his
Monty's
breakout
talking,
game.
Monty's talking a hat trick from
A little football hat trick.
little defensive hat trick for
Yep.
Isaiah Simmons. So, I said mine earlier. I think mine is 2 sacks. Kayvon Thibodeau gets 2 sacks, one of which being a strip sack score. So
All right.
It's
That's
short
my
of Big Dash's prediction of 3 sacks in 1/2. Did you see that one?
I did not see that one, but that's definitely a Big Dash. Big Dash likes to go big.
Yeah, Big
So-
Dash with a big bold prediction.
Big Dash, big bold prediction. So we are just about, or close to an hour. So seems like the best time to wrap it up so everybody can get prepped for tonight's game. I have to update my fantasy team because go Noah Fant. That's all I'm going to say.
I'm rooting for him tonight for you.
Go!
I really am.
Before we break out, guys, do not forget to like and subscribe. Hit that bell so you get notified when we go live. I want to say a big thank you to Mal for joining us. Don't forget to check out her podcast, 13 Rings on Spotify. We are also on Spotify sometimes when we update stuff in a timely manner, which we never do. So we'll be back next week, probably at our normal time. We'll talk about the Cowboys game, and then we'll look ahead to Arizona. Hopefully, going 2-0, baby. That's what we want to see. So, for Big Blue Mal, for my main man, Monte Cristo, I am your man, Sergeant Mayhem. Like, subscribe, hit the bell, and we will see you next week. Bye, everybody.
Bye, guys.